He is a star of stage and screen, 3-time Emmy winner, choreographer, dancer, director, actor, best-selling author. I think the list goes on, and we're so excited about his new tour this fall. So many people are excited about it. Derek Hough, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it. It's good to see you guys again.
So, Derek, let me get this straight. When you go on tour, people go insane. Am I right? Like, especially in Las Vegas, people go insane to go watch you dance. And I think rightly so, but it must be exciting to get back on the road.
Oh man, I can't wait. It's honestly one of those things that I love doing more than anything else is going and seeing people in person, performing on stage. There's nothing like that relationship, that give and take, that energy that you feel. And this show that I'm creating right now, it's really special. You know, we have a live band, we have incredible costumes, and the most amazing cast of dancers. The energy, whoever's seen my show before, you know that I bring a lot of energy to the shows every single night. And so this won't be any different, but it will be a little bit different in the sense that I'll be a married man, and I'll be on the road. It'll be pretty incredible.
I know.
Is this your honeymoon? Is your honeymoon going to be Symphony of Dance?
Pretty much. No, pretty much. But no, it is, and it's funny you mentioned. So Symphony of Dance. It's like, why do I call it Symphony of Dance? And for me, it's like, you know, as dancers, our instruments, what we play is our bodies, right? It truly is like, this is our instrument that we use. And also in the symphony, there's different movements, you know, brass, strings, wind, percussion, all those different movements are sort of lend themselves to different styles of dance and emotions. And so it's this really cool concept that we're creating with you know, music and dance being the perfect pair. So we're very excited about it.
And among the other dancers, obviously, Haley, who is your fiance.
Yes.
Did you have to break the news to her? Like, we're getting married in August, which I have read 1,000 places around the internet. You're getting married in August. And then you're immediately going to go on this. Did you have to break the news to her that's like, we're going right back to work, and indeed, this is our honeymoon?
No, you know what? It's something that we both share. We have a love for. We really do. We love performing live. And it's actually how we met. We actually met on tour dancing together. So it's really special. It's really special. And it's be able to do something that you love with somebody that you love really is incredible. And it's going to be made for some fun moments, some comedy, you know, some lighthearted stuff. Also some heartfelt moments as well. You know, also too with this tour, there's just given the timing of certain, you know, things that have happened this past year, you know, I definitely want to honor Len Goodman, who was, you know, obviously a colleague, but more than that, a dear friend. And so cultivating, you know, a piece and a moment that really honors him in a beautiful way. I definitely want to share that, not just for us, but also for the audience who've grown to love him after all these years of him being on television. And so it'll be a beautiful moment. We'll be able to share together and kind of celebrate him and honor him as an audience and as a show as well.
Oh, absolutely. He was the greatest. He was so wonderful. Yeah. Do you feel, Derek, just an insane amount of pressure for your first dance at your wedding?
Clearly you do.
You know,
he just screamed when you said that.
I did. You know, it's funny. The way we've combated that, if you will, is that pressure is by not having what you would expect, which is like something very elaborate and like a performance. We're actually going to go the opposite. We want to go really intimate, really small, and very just the two of us. Because here's the thing, we perform, we dance together all the time, every day. So I think for this, it's more about not performing. It's more about us being in the moment with one another. And but we'll see. I want to be performed too. I want the groomsmen. I want them to perform for me. Like that's my night to relax and to enjoy and just to watch. You know.
Is Michael Bublé performing? Because I love your friendship with him.
I know. I love him so much. I don't know. I don't know. I know he's on dad duty right now, while his beautiful wife is busy doing something. So we'll see. We'll see if we're lucky enough. But either way, I'm sure we'll get a Zoom.
And what are for you and Haley getting to do Symphony of Dance together? And I do think for because for whatever reason, your audience and even people who aren't dance fans are very invested in your romance. And I think that is partially because we all watched it happen live, and you're so good at sharing just enough on social media while still respecting, your relationship with her.
Sure.
What are the pluses and minuses of working with your partner or spouse on the road?
Be careful, Derek.
I know.
I'm not trying to get you in trouble.
No. It's here's the thing. Going on the road, going on tour, the hardest part about touring is being away from the one you love. Honestly, that's the hardest part, is being away from, people that you love. And so to be able to have that person with you, I think it takes away that homesickness, if you will. And yes, there's moments, there's things of, but here's the thing. The truth is, I mean, during COVID, during lockdown, we were like locked in a house for months and months, and we actually got closer for it. We actually bonded stronger, and we came together, and it was a beautiful experience as far as for our relationship. So I think that was a good test of being like, okay, we could be trapped on a bus for a few months and thrive, together. But here's the thing. I'll be traveling back and forth every single week to judge Dancing with the Stars at the same time. So I'll be on the road in your city performing live, and then I'll be flying back and shooting the show for Dancing with the Stars this season too. So we'll have a few days away from each other.
Wow. Is there something, Derek, since you've done shows and they're all incredible and you're so talented and you make them so compelling, is there anything you've learned from previous shows of saying like, okay, this works really well in a dance show, or this, like, I thought this would be awesome, but it actually does not work?
Absolutely. I think I look back at some of my tours, and you go through phases, right? Where like you hear a song and it's like a club song, like, and you're like, this is gonna be amazing. And then you dance to it, you play to it, and then you see the first row, they're like, I don't like this, like they're like, why is he dancing at me so hard? And the music's just so aggressive. And so what I've learned is, and especially with having live music, I think there's certain songs that just sound better live, and some songs that don't, essentially, So I look for music that is timeless, that is just never gets old. That's like, oh, I love that song, or and so a lot of the stuff is like throwback, a lot of music that's just like you hear it and you immediately go like, I love this song. It doesn't matter how old you are, what kind of music you like. It's something that's universal. Everybody just collectively like loves this music. So that's why I always talk about too, is that even if you weren't a fan of dance, you're gonna love the music in this show. You're gonna love it. You could just sit back and just watch the saxophone player and just be in awe, or the cello player, or the drummer, and just be like, this is awesome. Oh, by the way, there's also dancing. We're dancing our faces off, throughout the whole show. And we have these really cool set pieces too, which I've had these like sculptures made with these like sort of deconstructed, cellos and violins look like they're exploding, like, and suspended in air. And then like this piano that's sort of the keys are flying off the piano. So it's a pretty big, it's like a Broadway show, honestly, that we're kind of creating here. And so yeah, to answer your question, the music for me is everything. And then in the past, I've learned not to use certain types of songs and what to use.
I should mention that you can go to derekhuff.com, and you can buy tickets and all of that, and also see all of because you have a lot of dates planned, and it starts September 28th in Las Vegas. And why did you decide to start there? Because I know you've got a long history with Vegas.
Yeah, well, Vegas, we did 2 residencies this past year. It was amazing. We loved it. And it just felt logistically, it just made sense to start there as far as like pre-production and rehearsals. And, there's lots of logistics, that go into touring, with buses and trucks and lighting and all these different things. Trying to launch a show especially a brand new show, it's a challenge. So it was good, but it's funny. I don't actually usually do that. Usually I start East Coast and kind of make my way to the West Coast, but this time around I'm starting West Coast and then making my way back, making my way over East. Um, so it's definitely been different, but I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I love Vegas. It's going to be a great place to start. And then in Los Angeles, we're performing at the YouTube Theater, which is underneath the SoFi Stadium. It's like a part of. It's an incredible theater. It's massive. So I can't wait, and that's gonna be September 30th. So it's gonna be we're coming in hot. We're coming in hot.
You've also got, so in the show, I mean, there's ballroom dancing, there's Latin dancing, contemporary. Do you have a particular favorite type of dancing?
I tend to lean towards music that's very like passionate. Like I love the violins and the strings and the cellos that like an Argentine tango or like a paso doble. But I love the big band music. I love the big band music because it just feels fun and it's timeless, and you can tap dance to it. You can do a foxtrot or a quick step, or a jive. There's so many different genres you can have in that sort of type of music. So I really love that. I love that part of the show where it just feels like, it feels like a Broadway show.
You've been performing since you were basically a baby and like winning championships as like a teenager and stuff. Do you have one dance that you're like, oh, I suck at this?
Yes, definitely. Well, here's the thing. I'm not very flexible, actually. Like I'm not, my hips and my rib cage and things like that to create the rhythm, like that's flexible. But my actual legs, so we watch contemporary dancers and like that, like they're doing these beautiful extensions and, the legs up here. And I'm like, okay, I've never been able to do that and I never will. And I'm just like, man, I would love to be able to do that, honestly. So yeah, that's not a style that I'm like, averse. I still do it, and I'm more of a partner, and I kind of compliment my beautiful, lady, whoever I'm dancing with, to showcase them. But yeah, I wish I had more flexibility for sure.
How many cities are you going to? Do you know the number?
Yes, we've just added, I think, 2 more dates. Because it's doing fantastic. So we're very fortunate about that. So we're up to about 58 cities now.
Whoa.
And yeah, 58 cities going from September 28th, I think, all the way till December 23rd. So it's going to be an amazing tour. I honestly can't wait. I haven't toured in over 4 years. So going into these venues, into these cities, and to see everybody in person, it's my absolute favorite thing to do. And so I can't wait.
I'm curious, Derek, because Jess and I yesterday were talking about movie musicals, and where there is a movie musical, there is a dance number. What is your go-to musical that has amazing dance in it that like, even as you were growing up or that you've seen as an adult, that just blows you away?
I mean, for me, obviously Singing in the Rain is so iconic, right? I mean, it has so many moments. I mean, my last tour I did Singing in the Rain, and then I also did Moses Supposes with
Right.
Donald O'Connor and Gene Kelly. And so, you have Good Morning, you have Make 'Em Laugh. I mean, there's so many pieces in that musical that's just so good. There's also some other ones like Summer Stock, where there's this great scene with Gene Kelly in this back warehouse, and he's using the newspaper as he's tap dancing on it. Like it's just so creative, so interesting, and but man, there's so many great. It's like almost like overwhelming, honestly, how many good ones there are. Which is actually interesting because speaking of that, choreography used to be in the Oscars actually, years ago, and now they're not anymore. But now I think you look at it now, you look at all these amazing movies like West Side Story or In the Heights, and there's more and more choreography being implemented into movies now, like they used to do. And I definitely feel like I'm definitely campaigning to try to get that category, the artistry of a choreographer, back into where it belongs. I think to be sort of recognized, because I think you see choreography more and more now, in the forefront, not just in the background, in movies and big movies, and also television as well. So
Yeah, there was also like there was a while when it was not a huge, category for the Emmys. It was given out, but
Yeah.
now it's thanks to, you and a lot of the, projects that you've worked on, people are very aware of it. I think that it certainly belongs at the Oscars. It's actually a great idea. You're very like everybody saw Barbie this weekend. And
Yeah.
that the choreography was front and center. Same with Oppenheimer. Just kidding.
Oh, but no, by the way, the dance sequence in Oppenheimer was fantastic. But by the way, what's so interesting about that too is with choreography, it's not just the big performances, honestly, that you see.
Yeah.
I think you can ask a lot of actors as well, and they even when they're blocking a scene, it's all choreography. You know what I mean? The way where you stand, where you're going, the rhythm. It's all in a sense. It's a dance essentially. So there's a lot more to it than just a few dance moves for sure.
Derek, I think you've been on the show a couple of times, but we've never done this with you, and it's called the Cagle exercise. And
I'm doing it right now.
That's what I thought. That's what reminded me. And all you have to do is fill in the blank. It's just a chance to get to know Derek Huff a little bit better. Do you have it in front of you, Jessica?
I sure do.
Okay. I'll start. You might be surprised to know that I'm terrified of what?
Heights.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like
Even though I've skydived.
I know.
I've skydived several times and jumped off cliffs and stuff, but yeah, heights make me go.
But like any height, like you're on a riser on stage and looking down, will that sometimes trigger it?
It's a weird thing. I don't know if anybody has this, but it's this weird thing I get, like where you ever get this thing where you're in a car and you're like, what if I just opened the car door and jumped out? Or what if I just stepped off this cliff? Or what if I just leaned a little bit more? And it's not like a thought of ending my life or anything like that. It's just a weird feeling of like, what if I just, so it's almost like not even like trusting myself, where I'm like, I almost don't trust myself because that weird impulse might just take over and I might just be like,
That's terrifying.
I know it sounds really weird.
And also really dark.
It's really dark and it's really weird, but it's like that weird thing that just like, it's like, what if I just, so.
I'm going to psychoanalyze that. I feel like I understand that because I think that you're someone who has such control over your body. And so you're like, what if I just stop having control? Like, every muscle and so.
Jesus Christ, Jessica.
That's my
wow.
There you go. You're welcome. Next question.
I feel like you just healed a wound deep inside me. Thank you.
I got you, Derek. Am I your best man now? Yeah. Okay. All modesty aside, I am an expert on.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, you can't say dance.
I'm an expert at worrying.
Wow. Do you really?
I'm a bit of a worrier. Yeah. It's interesting. Like a lot of the stuff people ask me, like, man, you're so positive and you like, I say all these things, whatever. Like I try, and I honestly joke around and say, I think it's because I'm the most messed up. Like I think I worry so much and I have all these like fears. And so I've had to like figure out ways to work on that and to handle that, and then in doing so, hopefully help the people that I work with. They're like, hey, this is something that's helped me. Let me help you. But it still happens. I mean, like coming up to this, I'm there's a lot of worry. Like, is this going to go right? Is this going to happen? And it's like you're living in the future. So really practicing, trying to stay, present. But I would definitely say I'm an expert at that. Yeah.
Call up your file of all your past jobs and then answer this question. I really thought I was going to get fired when I got kicked out of a hotel on tour. On the first tour I was on, I got kicked out of the hotel because we were in the swimming pool and we were throwing the furniture in the pool. We broke glass. It was by the pool, like the worst thing ever. We got kicked out and I was like, oh, I'm probably going to get fired from this, and probably should have, honestly.
but yeah, that was the early days, the young days.
Little baby Derek Hough. A lot of people love it, but I think blank is overrated.
Oh boy.
I know this will really get you in trouble potentially.
I know.
He's already thrown furniture. Like
exactly. We've already discovered that side of him.
I'm a rebel. It's overrated. Dang. Come back to that one. Let me think about that one for a second.
Okay. Here's a two-parter. The best advice I ever received is...
The best advice I've ever received is, what if life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you? So even in those moments that you feel like are problems or are negative things, those are not happening to you. They're happening for you. They're gifts, you know, and they don't look like it in the moment, but they're definitely gifts to grow and to become stronger and to understand yourself more. So that was a good thing I heard at the right time that really shifted my whole trajectory in my life. So that was a great piece of advice.
That's great advice. Worst advice?
Worst advice. Worst advice would be, wow.
Become a lawyer.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess don't dance. I think honestly that's a good bad piece of advice I got, where it was somebody who said like, you know, dancing is not a career. It's not something you should do. And I'm glad I didn't listen to that, because it's been the gift that keeps on giving. So I'm very fortunate.
Well, don't they feel dumb now? Seriously.
I know. Send us their name. Drag them. Symphony of Dance, which is Derek Hough's new show. It's going to be on tour starting September 28th in Las Vegas. 56 dates. How many dates do you have?
Yeah, it's like I've just added 2 shows, so 58 now. Wow. I believe it is.
That's amazing.
So it's a bundle. It's a lot.
You can go to derekhough.com, find out how to get tickets, or, you know, just Google Derek Hough Symphony of Dance and go see it. Everybody's super excited, and tickets are going fast. It was great to see you again, Derek. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Jess. Thank you, Jessica.
under lighter a fissure I water within. I fire and me to repass it. I relay repairs away. Beauty, a future within. I'll sway our future. I'm a top is auto, yeah. I speed low your name. I did it for the awful. Who's got it off, mister? I swear I try. I'm getting tougher. I feel you on the faster. Stubber, I'm the weakest Jordan. Deep, I follow reason to seek my soul. I won't evil. I skin a vision. Within the rest, skipping the future. Oh, 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 oh. The lighter a fissure I water within. I fire and me to repass it. I relay repairs away. Beauty, a future within. I'll sway our future. I'm a top is auto, yeah. I speed low your name. I did it for the awful. sister. I swear that I try. I'm scared of tougher. Feels your honor faster. The stubborn, I'm the biggest shorter. And deep, I follow reason to save my soul. I believe I scared of vision with the rest. Skipping the future.